How did we end up to send a mannequin in space? One day, Maximilian Canepa, the CEO of an historic silk weaver company from Italy, reached out to me on Instagram asking if it would be possible to send silk into space. At first, I found this idea a bit odd, but I did some digging and explored his photographic work, which includes striking brutalist sculpture made out of silk, with vibrant color and crazy shape. Inspired, I began sketching, exploring ideas, and finally making 3 different concept arts. I suggested to Max the idea of translating his work into a stratospheric ballet. So Max was really fascinated by the fact that we'll be able for the first time to experience the true color of the fabric, illuminated by pure light rays from the sun, unfiltered by the atmosphere. Exploring TARONI's website, I discovered a commitment to the Greenpeace Detox campaign, which aimed to eliminate the use of hazardous chemicals in the textile industry, to reduce water pollution and promote safer, more sustainable production practice, which resonate a lot with the TheDorothyproject's philosophy and convinced me to start the production. To be able to send the mannequin in space, I had to make it as light as possible. To achieve this, I chose to livecast a 5'2" model. We started with the head to get it out of the way, because it's always the most claustrophobic step of the process. Then, we made a shell out of plaster bandage to hold the silicone in place. Our team usually consists of 3 people, as we need to work as fast as possible to minimize the amount of time the models spend inside the cast. So next we move on to the body. To ensure that the model could hold a specific position and support the weight of the plaster bandages, we built 2 poles to improve stability. After removing the molds of the body and head, we pour plaster into them to create precise copy of the model's arms, legs, and head. We use those plaster copies to do a process called vacuum forming. This technique involves heating a plastic sheet until it's become pliable, and then we drop it over a mold to get a thin and super light shape of the model. The final mannequin was around 700 grams, perfect for a stratospheric flight. I worked with Justine, a talented costume designer from Montreal, to create multiple variations of the sculpture. In total, we developed around 30 different designs. Max, working from Italy, reviews each iteration and provides us feedbacks every day. When we start a project like this, we can't predict exactly what part of the mannequin will be visible. It took us 2 weeks of research and development to find the perfect balance between the thickness of the fabric, the color, the shape of the sculpture, and to understand how the fabric will behave in the wind. To ensure that we have all the creative possibilities, we don't take any chance. We create a full copy of the person. This way, if we need to show an arm, a leg, a part of the face, we have the option. To carry the mannequin, I designed and built a custom rig out of carbon fiber rods, a very flexible and strong material. It's also very light. The rig consists of 3 parts: the mannequin, Dorothy, and the bridge that hold them together. Our module Dorothy is equipped with several cameras, batteries, electronics, and a tracking system. For the launch, Max traveled all the way from Italy to Montreal. He came to my place to see the mannequin, and it was great to finally meet him in person. He was genuinely impressed with Justine's work.
But did you want it more or less details in the face?
No, I think this is good.
Yeah, it was we were looking at your pictures, and a lot of the design we liked, the fabrics was thicker, so it wasn't the same kind of outcome.
Like we're doing something that's like hasn't not been done before.
No.
Like if you give it some more like space to work, like the fabric will work in the wind.
Okay.
And it'll, once the wind blows against the face, it'll like create like a more.
We're gonna see the face more.
Yeah.
For now, the simulation is this, so we're gonna launch there.
For each launch of Dorothy into the stratosphere, we usually head to the countryside. On launch day, we drove 2 hours north of Montreal to set up camp deep into the forest, far from civilization. Dorothy's team is a group of 8 people. Arriving on site, they know exactly what to do. Justine was completing the final touch-up on the mannequin, while Max was there to oversee the look, making adjustments to every micro detail to ensure everything was perfect just before the launch.
Trying to create a never-ending shape so that you don't really see any ends of the fabric, and this will create a better image, I guess.
In the morning, we ran simulation to know precisely where the balloon would travel and where the module would land. To hit that target, we need to follow a really tight schedule. One person was specifically in charge of taking note of the timing on the checklist and ensuring that we stay on track. Meanwhile, Silvano and I were busy installing all the electronics inside Dorothy, checking the cameras and ensuring the batteries were full and ready.
Là, je viens de fermer Dorothy, donc les batteries sont à l'intérieur au fond. Tous les câbles sont branchés sur les batteries. Le GPS est dans son gyroscope et il est allumé et il fonctionne. Et là, je viens de sceller Dorothy avec du silicone pour qu'elle soit étanche au cas où elle tombe dans un lac. Les 4 caméras sont branchées. On va avoir une Insta Ace Pro qui va filmer le mannequin en contre-plongée avec la planète en dessous. On a une Insta X4 360 qui va filmer le module et qui va filmer un peu tout. Et en dessous, on a une GoPro 11 qui va filmer plus un plan de face du mannequin avec autant de ciel que de terre. Et tout au bout, on a une Ace Pro 2 qui va filmer le paysage. Voilà. Après le balai rouge. Ouais, c'est ça, tourner à gauche après le balai rouge. Là, on déballe le parachute et le ballon.
Je vais un peu plus vite que la dernière fois, mais ça va très bien.
We were ready for the launch, and I noticed a strange mark on the balloon, a dark stain, which made me think that its integrity could be compromised. In that case, the balloon could burst sooner than it should be, and the module would land somewhere unexpected. So 2 minutes before takeoff, I had to tell the team to cancel everything. Later, we were ready to launch again, round 2. With everything ready, we were set for a second attempt. For round 2, we had to find a new site because the simulation wasn't the same from the previous week. We adapted and found the perfect location. So we had a brand new balloon. So the same team went up again. Although it was unfortunate that we had to cancel the first launch, it gave us an extra week to work on the mannequin. Justine had more time to make it perfect and beautiful. The weather was also better. The first time, the sky was completely clear. But a week later, there were clouds everywhere. And clouds are great because they add texture and provide like a sense of distance, making the image more interesting as you pass through them and fly above. ready for the launch, everyone is in position and know exactly what to do. Now, we just wait for the wind to come, and then we're off.
Les frissons, bordel. Merci les amis. J'en viens les câlins. Merci pour le coup de main. Fait que deuxième round, c'était la bonne. Cette fois-ci, le mannequin est parti.
The flight was flawless. Dorothy followed precisely the simulated path, and we retrieved it at the expected spot. The footage we captured went beyond my expectation. In the final film, the image appeared exactly as the camera captured them into the stratosphere. I did not adjust the color or the contrast. The only post-production treatment was to slowing down the footage and removing frame by frame the two wires holding the mannequin. Everything else is 100% real. I'm so glad that Max reached out to me. Thanks to his dream, I had the chance to create something really special and never seen before. I really think the journey of that piece of silk fabric from that small historic mill in Italy to outer space encapsulates the dual nature of human creativity. It shows how we can harmonize with nature by elevating its beauty and potential, yet also reveal how easily we can distance ourselves from its roots in pursuit of progress. In this paradox lies a profound challenge: to ensure that our creation remain not only inspired by nature, but also aligned with its preservation.